Believe it or not, many town departments are gearing up for the fiscal 17 budget. We find out what's in store for the Department of Public Works, and we chat with Police Chief Paul McDonald about a bomb threat at Cape Cod Community College and other incidents on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, November 17th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mantle. The Department of Public Works is getting ready for the fiscal 17 budget. DPW Director Dan Santos says the budget process for his department is a year-long process.
And particularly because we really run the capital program with respect to our infrastructure and renovating and building. And that's a significant part of the program. And in the last years, we've been getting more involved with the school projects as well through our town architects and project managers. For example, this year, I think we're submitting between Public Works, and we do a lot of the work for community services. I think we're submitting next week 88 capital projects. These are all on projects that we would propose to be for next year. One of the tenets of the capital program is that we want to plan out the future capital needs. So it's a 5-year plan. If you look on the cover of it. And so what we do is we try to predict what the needs are for the next 5 years. So there's projects in every one of the following fiscal years with only a limited number being proposed for funding next year.
And Santos says many of those projects include public road maintenance projects, town hall improvements, and town hall heating improvements. A bomb threat cancels classes at Cape Cod Community College yesterday. Barnstable This Morning host Sarah Colvin gets details on this and other incidents during her chat with Barnstable Police Chief Paul McDonald. We share that interview with you now.
So, Chief, a number of things to go over today. I want to talk, of course, yesterday we heard from Cape Cod Community College Communications Director Michael Gross about the bomb threat that was called in on Sunday evening. Kind of an unusual occurrence over at the college.
Right. We got the 911 call. It came in Sunday night, early Sunday evening. We notified all appropriate authorities. The Cape Cod Community College, of course, they have their own public safety director, the public safety police force, who are special state police officers. So we contacted the Massachusetts State Police. They responded along with our units. We did a quick check of the area along with the state police. Most of the buildings were closed and were locked. We notified the president and their campus security chief. The decision was made that the college would be closed on Monday morning, and then people who were more familiar would be there Monday morning, and that's when state police came down with 3 bomb dogs, and they checked the entire campus with us, and they came up with negative results. The threat came in written almost like some graffiti that was written on the side of a wall with a bunch of other things written underneath it. But in today's society, we have to take it as a real possible threat, so I think the president of the college acted wisely in closing it down and allowing the state police and us to do our job.
Indeed, and Chief, I think that's important to note that all of these threats, always have to be taken with the utmost level of seriousness.
Absolutely, but the decision to close the store, to make an or to close the school, or to make an evacuation, we always leave it up to whoever is in charge of it. With our recommendations, most of the time we recommend very, very strongly that you close it and you take the appropriate evacuation plans.
Indeed, and I think that, especially since it was a Sunday night, there's not a lot of activity going on at the college on a Sunday night, so, good that it wasn't during the day when you had to evacuate thousands of people from the campus.
And it was hard to tell when the threat was actually made. We don't know if it's been there for a couple of days, but it was very date-specific. It was Monday the 16th, so.
Great. Chief, thank you for that update. Yesterday's licensing authority hearing, quite interesting. A large number of local establishments facing charges of serving to underage. And this, I understand this was part of a sting operation, correct, Chief?
Well, we like to call it compliance checks.
Yes.
And what we do, there's approximately 140 to 145 licensed establishments within the town of Barnstable, and that makes up the bars, the package stores, and the restaurants. We break it down into 3 different sections. We do the bars, and we do the package package stores than we do the restaurants. And what we've found over the years that the bars and the restaurants, they're pretty good. I mean, they have full-time employees there, and all they do is they sell liquor, so they're pretty strict. They go in there to check everyone's IDs. And we've found through the last couple of years that a lot of the younger kids, or the kids who are under 21, is they're migrating over to some of the restaurants because, of course, the restaurants, their primary purpose is to sell food, not alcohol. So we found that maybe they're a little bit lax in their enforcement and their checking of the IDs. Although last year when we did it, I believe everyone passed. This particular year, we checked 42 local restaurants. Now the 42, I believe there was 13 that were brought before the board yesterday for a violation, which is a significant number. That's almost 1/3 of every bar that we went to. And penalty ranges from 1 day to some of the local restaurants, and I think Ying's got the highest up, got 2 weeks because of multiple violations, and the Beach Street Containing 5 days. So it's hopefully they get the message. We are very pro-business, and we want to work with all of the business owners. We meet with them every April before the summer season starts. We let them know what they can expect from us. They do know these compliance checks are going to happen, sometime during the summer or the early fall. But we try to work with them. But we can't have individual bars or package stores or restaurants, selling to underage kids.
Absolutely, really important. I think, while we think about the busy summer season, I know that all the restaurants and the bars, et cetera, are really on point checking those. But when we get into the shoulder season, maybe get a little lazy, as I think that we saw here in September. So certainly important.
Well, they also change their help. I mean, they hire their help all summer, and the summer help is pretty experienced as they work through the summer months. Then come September, end of August, come September, they leave. They're going back to school, or they're going to sell to a different job. Other people come in, maybe they're not as trained. One place that we went to, at the corner of South and Ocean Street, the employee there thought the drinking age was 18. So that's unacceptable to a simple thing that not to know what the drinking age in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So
absolutely, and important for the management to pass that information down to the person who's going to be selling that. So good to know, Chief. Let's talk a little bit about a chase that happened last night.
Well, we had a low-speed chase last night. Narcotics were conducting an investigation. They had identified a gentleman who identified as Sean Miller. He's had multiple dealings with us. We know he's a dealer. They had him placed on surveillance. They saw him what they thought was made a drug transaction. They attempted to stop him on Route 28 with an unmarked police vehicle. He and the operator first pulled over, and as the officer was approaching the vehicle vehicle sped up and took off. It took off down Route 28, took a right on straightway, hit high speeds of approximately 50 miles an hour. Our biggest concern as it went through Teviar and West Main Street, failed to stop for a stop sign, blew right through the stop sign at West Main Street, and as we know, West Main Street is a heavily traveled roadway. They went down to Oakview Terrace, which is off a straightway. At that time, there were multiple police vehicles behind them, in front of them. We were able to box the vehicle in, and they were subsequently stopped. The operator of the vehicle was identified as Brooke Hotel of 414 Oakland Road, Hyannis. She was arrested for multiple motor vehicle charges. The target of the investigation was Sean Miller, and the officers saw them as they were pursuing him. He was opening the packages of what we believe was heroin and pouring it into a cup full of soda. Once they stopped, they immediately rushed the vehicle. They opened the vehicle, and he poured the soda on the ground. Most of the the heroin was dissolved in the soda. They do have a little residue, and they're testing whatever they could recover to test positive for heroin.
Indeed. So certainly, any charges, as you said, the driver's going to face some charges, Chief?
The operator of the vehicle, Brooke Hotel, is being charged multiple motor vehicle charges, failure to stop, operating to endanger, failure to stay within marked lane, stop sign violations, and assault by means of, because she did hit one of our cruisers. He subsequently has not been charged pending the chemical analysis of what we recovered at the scene.
Great. And Chief, I just wanted to note congratulations again to the 3 new lieutenants. That was a wonderful ceremony last week over at BPD headquarters.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate you coming. And the 3 new lieutenants, they're looking forward to getting to work. One started work yesterday, and the other 2 start today. So they're excited.
And you can hear from the Chief every Tuesday morning during our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning. Barnstable This Morning airs weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will have our Business Barnstable segment. We'll find out what's happening at the Senior Center. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.